Welcome to Dark Souls All the Weapons, my series where I play through Dark Souls on the same character with only one weapon per run. To make this fun and not torture, I allow myself to use spells like Power Within, Fall Control, etc. And if it is necessary, I'll pull out the big guns. These runs are streamed live every 1 to 2 weeks. With that being said, let's get to Lord Run with the broken Straight Sword. Coming straight out of my Straight Sword Hilt run, I was quite cocky and at the same time unsure how to proceed. At the time I neither knew if I will do the ATW thing or how I will treat magic weapon. So for this run I treat it like a Straight Sword Hilt light run. I certainly deal more damage, but with the extra HP it still takes me about 10 minutes to defeat the Asylum Demon. Bam, there we go. That being said, he goes down without any problems. At this point I was still finding my footing however, which led me to quite a few deaths. Not too much longer though, I made it to the Taurus Demon. Taurus Demon, hello. I've seen a bunch. And that's it. Goodbye. And what can I say except that he fell like a tree. With this win in hand and out for some revenge, I then gave the Hellkite Dragon a try. Or you know, 10. But after figuring out that he can just duck into the stairs and let him fly back up, it became an easy fight. There we go. At this point I thought it was a good time to stop, so that I can continue a few days later. It didn't really help though, as I died plenty of times to normal enemies and to the gargoyles. Oops. What the fuck? One side. But hey, at least I got my broken Straight Sword 2+5. And I'm sure that this was the reason I managed to beat the gargoyles this time around. That's what we like to see. Which is a With the first bell rung, I set my eyes on the next target, the Moonlight Butterfly. And without too much struggle, I plucked its wings. Sadly, I barely didn't manage to do a 1 cycle. As I was already in the forest, I thought about doing Sif next. I mean, what can go wrong? Jump. But yeah, after this strange death, I was all set to put Sif down. That's nice of you. Wow. And there we go. Good night, Sif. You can now sleep with your papa soon enough. This then motivated me to visit the catacombs, to give my old friend Pinwheel a visit. Yeah, Pin, the fuck you do? He was then nice enough to provide me with the mask of the child, which I swiftly took before boning home so that I can go visit the goat. Yeah. But even after he goes down, his dogs still haunt me. Well, out of the streets and into the gutter, where I get overwhelmed by a couple of rats, dogs, and sorcerers. What? Once I got through that embarrassment, however, I finally reached the Gaping Dragon. If I could. And as always, he's more tanky than anything else. Oh. That's just how easy it is. With that win in hand, I decided to quickly return to the asylum, to the second of the 3 stooges. Prove a There we go. I of course did this detour to quickly pick up the rusted ring, so that I can go to Quelaag next, but not before making my weapon even stronger by getting it to +8, and quickly dying to the zombie dragon as I tried on my newfound strength. But Quelaag, as you might imagine, is no problem. Go, get in there. And say And there we go, Quaylock. Done. And thus I rung the second bell of awakening. Of course, while I was already there, I quickly took care of Ceaseless. Or not. In the end though, he still fell down into the lava. That took me longer than I wanted to take. Let me be fully honest here. For the end of the session, I then wanted to grab another copy of Power Within. And well, in the end, I did get it. While I was already grabbing some stuff, I thought about also getting my Estus to +7, with a similar result. What's me? Everything in hand, I quickly went to upgrade my sword to +10, only to be ambushed on my way back to the Firelink Shrine. Okay, that's the quick way. Small setbacks aside, I decided I might as well do the 4 Kings. Yeah, okay. Fuck. Oh shit. This, however, was not the best idea, which is why I moved on to Sen's Fortress, where I, without any problems... Fuck. Let me quickly... My friend, where are you? Be very likely that a boulder's gonna hit me here. Slate the Iron Golem. Oh, he's already aggroing. Allow me to move on to Honor Londo. How about you take a plunge there? I meant you take the plunge, not me. First on my list was to smash the fanboy. Well, he first did me in a couple of times. This one is the worst. Good, good, good. But soon enough, it was his turn. Blocked it. For him. And with him gone, I might as well enter the painted world before tackling the big duo. Can I get your tail? As always, Prisky doesn't provide much of a challenge. As such, I made now my way to the Godskin duo's grandparents. Huh? Probably why. Oh. Don't want to, you know. Best, but... And once I got back into the swing of things, it was quite the easy fight, all things considered. As I would hoped, then on. See, that's it. That's how we do it. And now it was time to goon. I mean, groan at how bad I fail at the Hydra. Fuck. And the 4 Kings. Oh, how did that hit me? I was far enough away. But let's focus on the DLC preparations first. By getting rid of the Hydra, free Dusk, pick up the pendant and die to the Guardian. Of course this time he does. I meant defeat, of course. I swear I am better now than when I did this run originally. Fuck. But this already bodes well for the DLC. Let's see how well I'll do with Artorias. You know, I'm actually seeing... Comes to development? Yeah. Fuck. Here it's... yeah, that was not good. Spin attack, of course. I need to heal. Yeah, this is looking to be a repeat of my Straight Sword Hilt run. so I put it on the back burner for the time being. Instead, I make my way to visit my friend Seif. Of course, I first struggle my way through his prison of knowledge. I remember. Well, I guess we can do it this way then. Thank you. But once I'm done learning about the meaning of death, it is time to teach it to Seif himself. Before leaving this place, however, I first wanted to grab some of Logan's stuff. Just didn't see it the first time, I guess. And I think you can guess what I did next. That was my punishment. That's right, dying some more to Artorias. Shit. Because he did, I pressed roll, but he didn't. Yeah. That was stupid. Fuck. For like half off. Yeah. Did I say some? I meant 107 times. This is not my proudest achievement for sure. With Artorias finally behind me though, I quickly grabbed the key to Goth, and then off to man as I went. I just hope it does not follow the same pattern. It wasn't as bad, and I'm sure this is where I started to think that madness isn't as hard after all. Sadly, my footage of this fight is missing, as I paused the recording while farming some more souls to get 1 or 2 more levels, and only noticed at the end of the fight. For those interested, however, I linked a full playthrough I did about a year later, down below where I did this run in New Game. I did use some duping though, but no magic weapon as far as I remember. All in all, however, this is much better than when it took me around 160 deaths in my Straight Sword Hilt run. Now there's one DLC boss left. He wasn't too bad either, and is more like an overgrown chicken than a dragon. Freshly off the DLC, I had some new vigor and went back to my nemesis, the Four Kings. Oh, my weapon is at risk. Okay, once again I decided to leave them be, as I just couldn't wait for the best section of the entire game. Nope. This means it's time for the last of the Three Stooges. Because there we go. The boss, backported from Night Rain. And of course, the best boss in the entire franchise. Fuck. 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 Bulls hit me there. Fantastic as always. This was so great that I didn't even want to return to the Four Kings yet. As such, it was time for Nido. It's already. I've never seen not do the attack that he does. Thankfully, he and his friends seem to have been a bit low on calcium in this run. And now, there's no more way around it. Back to New Londo with me. Okay. Well, that was a faster win than I expected. In this case, it is time to visit Gramps on his deathbed. Also, I don't know why, but for some reason, I did not want to parry him. I did eventually come to my senses though, but was a bit rusty. Say and immediately fuck it up. Twice. And in no time flat, Gwyn goes down, and as such, this run is finished. Oh, that took way longer than it should. Right, Gwyn? The broken straight sword goes into the bank. And with that, let me put it into a tier list. While I'm at it, let me also do it for the hilt. The hilt, when you do it like me with magic weapon, provides a nice change in the difficulty curve of a run. I have done this run again in private, just for fun, and thus can say that the hilt is a solid B tier. The base game is great, but the overall magic resistance in the DLCs and the bad hitbox it has makes it a tedious weapon at times. Just as with the hilt, I did another run with the broken straight sword in private, this time without magic though, but some duping to speed things up. All in all, it is a really fun weapon and is like an improved version of the hilt. As such, I put it in A tier. All that is left is to see what weapon I'll be using next. I did a test spin last time and got the black Hellbeard. Black Knight Hellbeard, so that was fun.